And we are live. What's good, Josh? Your man, DL Saint. Welcome. Welcome. DL Saint, I really want to know podcast, but good afternoon, y'all. What's up? It's lunchtime. It's lunchtime. You know what I mean? I meant to do this show yesterday, but I had some technical difficulties, so I had to push it to now. I wanted to do it middle of the day, so like your little, so like a lunchtime thing. Man, I couldn't go to sleep last night. I was up late, and I got up, but I've been just kind of groggy all day, and I'm like, oh, I got to do a show. So, and it's part of it, y'all. It's part of it, man. I hope y'all Friday is going well. I know my little girl's loving her Friday. She didn't have school today, so she is absolutely loving her Friday right now. And yeah, I'm like, I got to do this show. So here we are. It's Friday. I'm happy it's Friday. It's good to always get to the end of the week. The weekend's gonna start. We're gonna see what it do. Like I said, I hope y'all ain't working too hard out there. And for those who are watching Team Replay, what's good? How y'all feeling? Thanks for coming through. This is for y'all. The Team Replay, and appreciate it, y'all. We're doing this thing. We're gonna keep pushing forward on these YouTube trenches. I gotta tell you, man, YouTube has definitely made some changes, man. They're cracking down. From talking to the people who were in this from the beginning, talking to people now. YouTube has definitely made some changes. They're running off some content creators. They're switching up the way they do business. It is what it is. I just enjoy having a platform and be able to interact and talk and get to know people and just share some points of view. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. I was watching a content creator, Man Talk. And it's a guy who is one of those faceless channels, but, the guy's voice is on there. He sounds European, maybe Eastern European. I don't know who the guy is. But he talks about, it's like manosphere stuff. Women saying that they can live with, do just fine without men. And, women talking about the patriarchy, and he's, coming in there with counterpoints. And he had a video out, and I had it loaded up, but I had problems with my computer, and I had to reboot everything. And I lost it. I can't find that episode. And the guy has a lot of content, and every one of his videos look the same on the surface, and they all say the same thing in the description. So it's really hard. I haven't been able to find this particular video. But in the video, it starts out with a clip of a young woman saying that, yeah, we don't need men. And then he goes into another clip of a woman saying, men are useless. And then he goes into clips showing men working on infrastructure. And then it goes into Dr. Jordan Peterson talking about what men do for our society, like how everything is built and maintained by men. We've all heard this. This is nothing new on this side of the internet. But later on in that video, he talks about the United States military having difficulty recruiting, which he's correct. He's 100% correct on that. And there's a bunch of different reasons for that. Most people can't pass the ASVAB, the Armed Forces Vocational Aptitude Battery. That's the test you take to get into the military. You have to score, there's a baseline score you must get, and then based on your score, it determines what jobs you qualify for in the United States military, all branches. Young kids are having a hard time passing the ASVAB. The physical requirement. A lot of young kids are out of shape. 75% of America is either obese or overweight. That includes kids, right? So there are a lot of kids coming up who can't qualify for the military because they can't qualify for the physical part of it. So we talked about the ASVAB. They're not smart enough, or they're not able to take the course and pass. Physically, they can't do it. And then there are a lot of kids who have mental struggles and legal problems, and those kids can't get in. So it's really hard to meet their recruitment numbers in the United States Armed Forces right now. The guy's absolutely correct about that. And then he went and he was talking about World War II. He was talking about 9/11. And he was talking about the reason that men in America fight wars. And it's not because they're patriotic, although some of them aren't. Most people don't become patriotic until after they get out of the military. I know I was like that. I went in, I did what I did, and I love my unit, and I love the guys that I served with. But I didn't really get patriotic until after I sat around and thought about what I did. I was like, oh, wow. But no one does what they do in the military for, Uncle Sam and American Pie and all that. They're doing it to protect their families. Like the average American warrior is out there protecting his family. That's why he suspends his own freedoms. That's why he or she, steps up, raises their right hand, and they swear to protect the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. This is why. Like you look and on Man Talk, I wish I could find this episode. I'm gonna keep looking. When I'm gonna find this episode and I'll do a short on it. But he's right. 9/11 happened, and it was a surge in volunteers, people enlisting because of 9/11. And there, a lot of people were like, a lot of men, like, hey, if these guys can come up with a plan and hit us like this, it's best that we go over there and fight them over there so I can keep my family safe. And that was a really good point he made. And he was tying this all back to the dating marketplace and men being sexless and men not having families. And this whole point, which was a valid point, if men don't have families to fight for, will they fight? I thought that was a really good point. And he said the only reason America is America right now is because, the U.S. dollar is the predominant currency. All the oil and everything is, everything is based on the U.S. dollar. All trade is based on the U.S. dollar. And the U.S. dollar is backed by our military. So if our military were to fall off, he was saying if our military were to fall off, which that part I don't agree with, we have enough tech to do what we got to do. But, and I'm talking about drones, and I'm talking about, AI type robotics and stuff like that. But his point was well made. If the U.S. were to fall off and the dollar fell off, they switched up the currency to whatever, to the pound, to the to the Deutschmark, to whatever they want to switch it to. What happens to the world if America went away? Because the rest of the world is afraid of military. Make no doubt about it. That's it. They know we got guns, we got weapon systems that work every time, and we know how to use them. So what would happen if America went away? And I was like, man, I want to talk about that. So Sister Candace is in the house. What's good, love? Good to see you. Always good to see you. Good afternoon to you. I believe the Navy is now accepting applicants with an ASVAB of 10. Really? That's insane. I'm definitely looking into that. I have some friends that I've met in the military. They didn't serve with me. I'm an old soldier. I'm talking about some people who've been around recently. They're telling me that there's some serious struggles with recruitment and retention. So it's one thing to find someone who's qualified that could pass the ASVAB, that's healthy enough to pass the physical requirement. But then they get, and then they don't have a criminal record or anything like that. Then they get in, and to keep them, they've changed the way the training is conducted. I mean, it's crazy. I'm definitely gonna do some more shows about this. Brother Cars, what's good? How you feeling, man? Good weekend, DL Saint, and to all, good weekend to you, man. Happy Friday to you, bro. Sister Candace, they just reset the standards for anyone who failed PFAs in effort to retain 1,500 sailors. Right. They're like, all right, if you fat, you can stay no more. We used to call it the Fat Boy program. In the Army, if you wanted to get out, most people, like, they would have to do like skin fold tests and stuff like that. And dudes would be like really, really ripped up, but they would have to do extra tests because according to the numbers, they were considered, like fat, overweight. But these guys would be like ripped and all that. It was like to do with their height and their weight and all this other kind of stuff. So they would do like a skin fold test. Like they had this little pincher thing, and they would pinch your arm and test how much extra fat or skin you had on you, whatever. It was whatever. It was stupid. But it was regs. We had to, maintain the regs. But you're saying now that they're like, forget the regs. If you're breathing and you don't have diabetes, we're going to keep you in the military. This is crazy. Nidus is in the house. What's good, fam? Man, good to see you. Brother Hayoka's in the house as well. I see you, fam. Hello to you. If America went away, just more war. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Y'all saw the thumbnail. That's what I'm thinking. Well, we're going to take a quick look at it. It's survival of the weakest now. Yeah. Yeah, it could definitely look that way. It's survival of the weakest. So if America went away, so here's the scenario, y'all. Here's the scenario. And help me out with this. We're gonna think this through, y'all. Definitely gonna put this through the old think tank, y'all. That's what we're here to do. So let's make it happen, man. Put it through the old
think tank. Arch, nothing gets past the old think tank. Nothing.
Nothing gets past the old think tank, y'all. Let's put this through the think tank and let's see what we come up with. I'm just curious. Sister Candace, yes, if you're breathing under 42, you can serve in today's Navy. Wow. We used to get the Navy a hard time back in the day, but wow. Where's Miss Globe Girl? Where's Miss Globe Girl? I got jokes. Where is she at? We're going to have to send this to her. I'm going to send her a clip. I'm like, girl, what's your Instagram? I got to send you some clips. Miss Globe Girl, this is for you. But it's affecting the Army, it's affecting the Marine Corps, it's affecting the Air Force, all branches. It's affecting the Coast Guard and, of course, Space Force. Really? Space Force? Until they start jumping from spaceships, man, like the orbital drop shock troops, I got no respect for Space Force. It's like, I don't even know what they do, man. Nine-ish. The pen is mightier than a sword. Nah, not really. Yeah, I mean, the pen might be mightier than a sword, but the pen does not hold up against a minigun. You know what I mean? The pen does not hold up against that shotgun behind me. And that's what it would devolve to that. Like it is what it is. These are good points, though. Miss AK, hey, ladies in the house, what's good, sis? How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. Hope you're having a good day. Miss AKA lady. So, yeah, let's get into it, y'all. So, here's the scenario. Monday morning, the world wakes up and discovers that all of American military assets, diplomats, the diplomats can stay there, but all of the military assets, all of the Air Force Base, all of the ports, all of the naval, like air stations, all that, empty. We bring home all of our military toys, all of our equipment, and all of our warriors, all of them. Right? Do that Sunday night, Monday morning. There's not a single American boot off of American soil. All Americans are standing on U.S. soil. Right? And we're gonna include Micronesia and Puerto Rico. So all of Americans, we either in Hawaii, Micronesia, Alaska, the lower 48, and Puerto Rico. No more American boots anywhere else. Panama, Spain, Greece, UK, Germany, you know what I mean? Middle East, gone. All of our advisors, everything. We're back in America, right? That's Monday. Monday, the world wakes up. America done went home and took all their guns with them. What happens? Like I said, we'll leave the diplomats over just so we can know what people are talking about or people can talk to us or whatever. But what happens? Right? What happens on Monday when the world realizes America went home and took all its toys with her? All right. So, Wonderful 34's in the house. What's good, fam? Good to see you. Happy Friday, man. Happy Friday. Miss Globe Girl. Did someone send for me? I most certainly did. We talking about the Navy. Read the chat with Sister Candace is talking about what the Navy is doing right now. What have they done to your beloved Navy? It looks like they're letting any old body serve in the United States Navy. They don't care how big you are, how dumb you are, nothing. Girl, have you been keeping up? And I know they're doing something like that in the Army, but the Army hasn't lowered the Army still has a bar. It might be low, but it's still a bar. They haven't taken the bar away yet, but I think it's coming. Same with the Marine Corps. And happy Friday, love. Good to see you. It's always good to see you. What We Know podcast. What's good? Is that JT or Rob? What's good, fam? What's good, fam? So what happens if the world wakes up on Monday and the U.S. military has gone home, taking all their toys with them? Nightish. Depend because LGBTQ plus, I think that plus is the P, and I don't mean George Clinton. Hilarious. So how do minorities have so much influence? Man, it depends on what minority you're talking about. You know what I mean? Miss Globe Girl says, that's all propaganda. I don't think so. They're definitely lowering the ASVAB scores to get in. They're loosening the requirements on like the weight requirements, staying in shape or whatever, for retainment, because I know for a fact the Navy is having a hard time retaining sailors. The Army is as well, and so is the Marine Corps. I'm not so sure about the Air Force. I think the Air Force numbers are kind of where they need to be or where they've always been historically. Coast Guard, I have no idea what's going on in the Coast Guard. I look at them as like the, baby Navy. And of course, the Space Force, who knows what's going on over there. But it's definitely a problem. It's to a point, Jay Swans was telling me about a month ago that they are beginning to look at high schools, and they're going to implement a course in high school, I think for like juniors and seniors, to help them with the ASVAB. Just basically a high school course that's going to teach them the test. That's what we do in America, right? We don't educate our kids, we teach them the test. So it looks like they're going to start teaching them to test the ASVAB so they can at least, qualify. So it is what it is. Brother Hayoka, the guardians of the global trade in the U.S., no other country can, or is the U.S., no other country can project power like the U.S. to ensure safe passage on the high seas from piracy. Yeah, except in Somalia. If you over there off the coast of Somalia, you're gonna get pirated. But yeah, you're right. America is entrenched in global affairs. If we pull fully out, other superpowers will see it as a weakness and bury U.S. in those trenches. I hear you. You know what I mean? They will. I think that they will still leave us alone. Mind you, in this scenario, we still got our weapons. We still have our satellites. We still have, you know what I mean? We still have our drones. We still have our warriors. And our warriors are still sharp and still training. We're just isolationists. We're like, pre-World War I, pre-World War II America. We just here. You know what I mean? We're keeping people away from America. You know what I mean? Like, you can't even come close to us, and it will, and now we're getting into the scenario. Here's what I think will happen. Simply because we pull out of these countries doesn't mean we're weaker. In fact, we've just consolidated all our forces. We're training hard at home, right? Canada and Mexico are going to do whatever we ask them to do. They're going to be happy to do it. So North America will be secure. North America will be secure. Now, the rest of the world is going to be problems. And I think you're right. I think they will look at that like, well, let's see if America's serious. If America doesn't step up, then there will be actors out there who can do what they want to do. That's how I see it. What We Know podcast. I don't trust anyone that wears bell bottoms and Dixie cups. Hey, that's JT, all right. Yeah, that's JT. Miss Globe girl. He messing with you. And and I think that's what respect, though. Army guys just love to give the Navy a hard time, and the Marine Corps and the Air Force. Miss AKA lady, I'm sure that would cause other nations to feel threatened and form together. Maybe. You know what I mean? ASVAB for the Navy is no lower than other branches. It's the second highest. Army is the lowest. We might be the lowest. I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that. You know what I mean? Because I ain't mad at you. But I think the way they're doing it now, I think that they've definitely lowered they've lowered scores across the board. You know what I mean? I think they have, which is a problem. Kids can't even pass the ASVAB. That wasn't the toughest test I ever took in high school, by the way. And I'm like, I scored really well. I mean, I scored high enough to be in air traffic controller. Brother Hayoka, even if Somalia is in the minor projections of the U.S. power, if the government wanted to remove Somalia, it wouldn't be an issue. It absolutely wouldn't be. You're right. I agree with you. It just, that's politics. And the Somali pirates, I think they leave American ships alone. You saw what happened. You know what I mean? When they snatched up the wrong ship, you know what I mean? They sent some U.S. Navy forces over there. The boys calmed down quick. They calmed down real quick. You know what I mean? So let's look at it, though. I think right away, so America brings all our stuff home, brings all our weapons, all our warriors come home. We still train. We still doing what we got to do. We might even lower our numbers, like our projections go down, because we're not spread out to the four corners of the world anymore, right? So, we can lean up and train up and do what we got to do. Still able to go grab whatever we want, get whoever we want to get. We still got our tech. We still have our satellites. We still have our missiles. We still have all that stuff, right? So I think that Canada and Mexico is like, bet, we cool. we down with them. We down with the U.S. It's North America over here. You know what I mean? So from Alaska all the way down, to Central America, this part of the world will be secure doing what we want to do. So right away, if we woke up on Monday and America went home, the first thing I can guarantee you, the first thing that happens is the whole Ukraine-Russia thing is over. Russia takes Ukraine. 2 weeks. However long it takes for Ukraine to run through those munitions, the ammo, and the weapons that we sent them, however long it takes to run through that, right, then it's over. Russia takes Ukraine. Done. And then my question would be, what else would Russia take? Right? What else would Russia take? So if America, I mean, think about American involvement. I mean, we've been involved in the world since the end of World War II. We've been involved in all this stuff since the end of World War II. So, you know, you look at North Korea. We pull out of North Korea. How long could they hold on? Correction. We pull out of South Korea. How long can they hold on before the North comes down? If we were to pull out of South Korea Monday, how long? Like what would happen between the South Koreans, the Japanese, the Chinese, the North Koreans? What would happen over there? Right? Because all these places, you know, that I just mentioned, all these westernized places, they rely heavily on military tech, military training, right? The United States military being there to help them out, right? Yeah, it goes away tomorrow. So right off rip, and don't get me wrong, I'm team Ukraine. I want Ukraine to continue to keep Russia at bay, but that's American. That's American tech. It's American weapons. That's American training. It's American dollars that is keeping Russia out of Ukraine, right? So if America's gone, does Russia go back to maybe building the former Soviet bloc? Like, does Putin decide, hey, I'm going to take back these countries, right? I'm going to take Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia, you know, go back and, you know, mess with Germany maybe. Definitely take Hungary, take Poland, take Romania. I mean, who's going to stop them? Who are they going to turn to? Right? I mean, who are they going to turn to? Like, we could look at a map of Europe. Let me switch this up real quick. If America goes home and takes all its toys, then Europe has a serious problem. Right off rip. What will they do? I mean, look at this. It affects everyone over here. Iceland, Sweden, Finland, Norway, Denmark, the UK, France, Spain, Portugal, right? Austria, Italy, Greece. I mean, look at this. If Russia's left unchecked, they're taking Belarus, they're taking Ukraine, right? They're already trying Ukraine. Ukraine falls. They're going to take Romania. They're going to take Poland, right? These four countries right away fall to Russia. Austria has to make a deal with somebody. Austria has to go back. Hey, what's up, Germany? Let us back into the fatherland. Right? Denmark, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things like Italy, France, Spain, UK. They got to figure it out. Okay, what are we going to do? America ain't messing with us no more. What are we going to do? Right? So just imagine, man, waking up on Monday, America went home and took all their stuff. That would be crazy. Let me catch up with the chat, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. Right off rip, Ukraine is gone. They are Russian. They are absolutely Russian. I'm trying to figure out where we left off. And here it is right here. Let's see. Just trying to see where we left off. Miss Glow Girl messing with JT. I know it's all y'all love and hating on the best branch. I don't know about that best branch stuff. Who said the Navy was the best? You know what I mean? What's best? Come on now. Y'all don't do no shooting. Y'all get suntans on the poop deck or whatever it is y'all do out there. What we know podcast, and this is that sister Candace. I can't wait for 1630 to hurry up. Come on, 3-day weekend. Here I come. Why you got to use military time, man? It's 4:30, bro. Just tell us you get off at 4:30. Brother Jose's in the house. What's good, fam? Good to see you. Seems like the U.S. have always been in a Cold War. Well, yeah. I mean, after World War II, after the formation of the Soviet Union, You know, communism versus capitalism. Yeah, since the end of World War II, it was General Patton who said, you know, we already got in 1945. General Patton in Germany was telling the U.S. High Command, like, listen, well, anybody who would listen, he's like, look, we already got our military over here. We know Russia's going to be a problem. We might as well fight them now. Let's get it out the way. Let's just do it right now. He wanted to attack Russia, and then he died in a car accident not too long after. Yeah, and for those who wear the tinfoil hats, they say that was an assassination. Well, you know, maybe we'll get into that at one day, someday down the road. Maybe we'll talk about that. Brother Hayoka, because of population collapse around the world, the U.S. will still have a millennial population, meaning the U.S. standard, the world power. The U.S. stays the world power. But that's the whole point of this exercise, man. What if America says, no, we're just going to go home. We're going to take care of North America. We're going to take care of what's going on with us. Canada, Mexico, us. Right? We're going to protect Hawaii. We're going to protect Puerto Rico. We're just going to deal with us. What happens to the rest of the world? You know what I mean? Like what currency would the world use? How would the world continue to do their thing? I mean, you talk about, because we can become the biggest bullies if we wanted to. America could be like, you know what? We ain't paying you nothing. We coming to get that oil, Saudi. You know what I mean? We can hire ourselves out. Like, hey, you want some protection? We're gonna need some oil. Give us some oil, and we'll send the French Foreign Legion in there. You know what I mean? Or we'll send some guerrillas out of Guatemala. We'll send some guerrillas out of Honduras. Go over there and help you out. We could be gangster with it. But I'm just saying, if America removed her military protection, what would happen to the rest of the world? I think it'll be a problem right away for Europe in particular. Germany, UK, France, how much money they're spending on their military, man. They're gonna have to really crank up the amount of money that they're spending. And I got that right here. We can look at military spending in our country. Everyone on the planet relies on the U.S. when it comes to this sort of thing, right? When it comes to military expenditures and stuff like that. They talk crazy, but they rely on us. And here it is right here. See if I can get to that list. Top 10 countries with the highest military expenditures in 2020. United States, number one, of course. $778 billion we spend. That's a year. That's annual. $778 billion. China's number two, $252 billion. Right? China's number two. And that's an estimate. They really don't know how much they spend. And China's probably less than that because China really don't have that much money, man. They've kind of spread themselves thin. India, $72.9 billion. That's number three. India. Like, we haven't even, I'm just talking about Europe right now. We haven't even begun to talk about the Middle East, Central and South America, Asia, right? We're just talking about Europe. Russia, $61.7 billion. So if America went away, China becomes the highest spender, right, at $252 billion, and they down with Russia. Russia and China could do what they want to do. Russia can start making moves on Europe, right? We already talked about that. Right off rip, who's going to stop them? UK spends $59.2 billion on their military, and they're stretched real thin. Saudi Arabia, $57.5 billion. They're not going to have anything to do with Europe. Germany, $52.8 billion. So the UK, $59.2 billion, and Germany, $52.8 billion. Right? What's that, like 109 or so billion to combine? How they gonna keep up with Russia and China? So Russia getting help from China will be able to do what they want to do in Europe. France, $52.7 billion. Right? So France, Germany, and the United Kingdom will have to get together and figure out what they're gonna do. They might decide to let Russia do what they want to do, right? It'll be like World War II. Just kind of appease. And remember how they appeased Hitler? Well, Europe are like, oh, we're gonna have to appease Putin until we can get our numbers up, until we get our military stuff up, because America's sitting it out. So right off the rip, it'll be crazy in Europe. And eventually there'll be some sort of shooting war, or they're gonna have to give Putin everything he asked for, or if they were to come. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. You know, people keep talking about America like, oh, we should mind our own business. Okay. Monday, we're going to mind our business. We're going to pull all our warriors home, take all our toys. What is now what? You know what I mean? Let's see. What we know, brother JT, even though the main body of our military left, the CIA stays there. Nope. All of our assets, bro. Listen to me. In this thought experiment, America comes home. All of us. We only leave the politicians. Right? We just leave, you know what I mean? We just leave some politicians there to tell folks we ain't messing with y'all. Right? In this exercise. Right? So now, like the CIA, nope, CIA is not going to stand there. We pull everybody out, right? And this, just for this particular exercise, yeah, in real life, of course, we'll have to have some people on the ground to kind of figure out what's going on. But in this exercise, no, pulling out. And even if the CIA were there, you wouldn't know they were there. You know what I mean? Even if we got spies, of course we're going to use spies, but the spies are just telling the other spies, like, bro, we ain't coming. So, and just think about what happens to the world. Like we just talked about Europe. We're gonna talk about Asia here in a second. Carl, I personally would like to see all the men return. Canada is pretty much China concentric. Wouldn't be counting on them. Let me see. The MIC would not be pleased, right? So, and here's the thing. Mexico, in this scenario, Mexico and Canada, well, they would know, like, yo, bro, we got to do what America says. Because it's one of those things like we're asking, but we're not really asking. This is what we're going to do. This is what y'all going to do, right? And if you need some money, whatever, we'll figure that out because we're saving tons of money because we brought everybody home. Like, this is what we're going to do. Canada, you're going to do what we say because Russia is just north of you, right? So you're going to do what we say. And if you don't, we'll just take Canada. Right? Mexico's be like, ole, hey, Holmes, yeah, come on, it's cool, bro. You know what I mean? Like, what are we going to do about these cartels? Like, we're going to talk to them too. North America will be secure in this particular, you know what I mean, scenario. Brother Hayoka, the Russians only have the generation to defeat Ukraine. Population collapse gives them only this generation. The only way that the Ukrainians can beat the Russians is the way it's playing out now. America has to give them the tech. We have to give them the weapons. We have to pay for it. What was Zelensky was asking for tanks last month. I'm pretty sure he's going to get them, right? Tanks from America, tanks from Germany. They're getting their air defense stuff up. They're getting aircraft, right? We're making the deal so they can get the MiGs that the Ukrainian pilots are used to flying, I think, from Poland. And then we'll swap out F-18s, I think, for the Polish Air Force or something like that. So basically, Ukraine cannot stand against Russia on their own. They just can't. Russia's too massive. And they're still having a hard time, even with the tech. But, you know, hey, hats off to the Ukrainians. They can fight. You know what I mean? Miss Globe Girl, U.S. gets a lot of criticism, even internally with our own citizens, but no one can fathom a world without us. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. Russia will own all of Europe. When I had these conversations and I talk to military people who've been deployed, we all say the same thing. Shout out to you, Miss Globe Girl. We all say the same thing. Like, all these people talking all this nonsense about America. But if America leaves Monday, y'all through. You better learn Russian or Chinese. Y'all through. Who gonna stop them? Africa would just turn into, you know what I mean, it's the wild, wild west, for real. I think it's bad in Africa now, man, without the threat of America coming in when they need to come in and take care of stuff. Man, look, it is crazy. Brother JT, I work in a hospital, bro. You know what I mean, with your military time. I ain't mad at you, fam. You know what I mean? I'm glad you're here, man. Thanks for, you know what I mean, spending some time. Sister Candace, fun fact, the Navy is the only branch that is constitutionally required. I just learned this. Really? That makes sense. When they wrote the Constitution, they wanted to protect the coast. You needed a Navy. That makes sense. But I guess the assumption is that the Army is, because they had Minutemen back then. So I guess they're like, we don't have to write in the Constitution for an Army because people have the right to bear arms. That's a whole nother topic, right? We got the right to bear arms. Maybe that's what the founding fathers were thinking, like, but we have to put something in the Constitution to maintain a Navy because building ships and maintaining a Navy is expensive. Ms. Globe Girl, Sister Candace, exactly. All these other no frill branches don't come close. There y'all go. So Ms. Candace is saying that the Navy is constitutionally required, and that's Sister Candace. And Ms. Globe Girl, of course, is going to jump on the bandwagon. Man, y'all Navy people be tripping. You know what I mean? Brother Hayoka, would you have no one to trade with except places with young people? And the only way most trade happens is on the seas, meaning you need a Navy. Yeah, because you got to protect, like you said earlier, you got to protect that trade. Sister Candace, this is Ms. Glow Girl. I'm Team Navy all day. Besides, we have the Marines and Top Gun. No one can touch that. Hey, look, y'all got to understand something. You know what I mean? Y'all know y'all can't do nothing without the Army. Just quit playing. You know what I mean? In fact, you want to talk about fun facts. The Army has more boats than the Navy. Think about that for a second. We got more boats than the Navy. So I'm just saying, y'all might have the ships, but we got more boats. We got more craft. I think it's watercraft or whatever. It's a term that they use than the Navy. And if any of y'all want to learn how to jump out of airplanes, y'all want to be airborne, y'all all got to come to the Army. All y'all. You know what I mean? Lottie-dottie everybody. So there's that. You know, and you know, our helicopters and our fixed wings. The Army has a lot of stuff, from tanks to boats to aircraft, trucks. Like the Army is massive compared to the other branches. Brother Hayoka, actually the Chinese spending might be higher than the list, using dual purpose spending for civilian and military devices and equipment. That might be true. That might be true. It's just that, you know, China has problems under, you know, like it's communist. I mean, it's run by the state, man. So it's one of those things where, and they have their own thing going on. Who really knows where their money is going or how much money they have? They might be, you know, counterfeiting all kind of currencies from all over the world. Who knows what the Chinese are doing, bro? Brother JT, if every component left, we would also be at risk to be the dominator too. That means we have little to no intel to protect us. We would have we could have intel still. I mean, we still got, you know, we got spy satellites and stuff like that. You know, we still do we would have allies for a short term. They'll come and tell us all the stuff, like MI6 will tell us what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, you know, French intel would tell us what's going on and stuff like that. But you're right, though. But again, this is just a thought experiment. Like, I think we all get the gist. If America just pulled out on Monday, if they world woke up on Monday and America's back home, what would the world look like? You know what I mean? Australia as well, for Brother Carr's card. Yeah, Australia, New Zealand. Again, that would fit into the Asian problem. Like China would definitely be looking at New Zealand, definitely be looking at Australia. You know what I mean? China wouldn't just stop at South Korea and Japan and Taiwan. They'll continue. So pretty sure that the Chinese government and the Russian government would sit down and they'll just divvy up the world, staying away from North America. Like, okay, stay away from there. What about the rest? So South America might be okay. You know what I mean? North America definitely will be okay. But the rest of the world, you know, Africa would get split up, Australia, New Zealand, you know what I mean? The rest of the world, you know, I could see the world being in thirds, you know what I mean? So, Brother Ayoka, the Russians can't hold all of Europe. Look at the projection just for Ukraine. They need 350,000 troops just to hold it. They need 350,000 troops because America is backing the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians can't do what they're doing without America, period. Period. They can't do it. Russia needs these troops because they didn't anticipate America doing what it did. Right? With the fact that the Russian military stuff, like their equipment doesn't work all the time and whatever, they're just sheer numbers and brute force. Ukraine could not stop them without help from the U.S. And they say it's NATO. Now, all that help's coming from the U.S. All the money, all of the intel is coming from the U.S. Right? All of the training, all of the planning, all that U.S. It's the only reason Ukraine is still Ukraine right now. It's because of the United States of America, period. Period. If the U.S. was not involved in this conflict, it would have been over months and months ago. It would have been over. There's no way they could have stopped them. Go back and watch it. This is funny. This whole war is on TV. Go back and watch the tape. Go back and watch the tape. The Ukrainians fought hard, but they ran out of equipment fast. Their military, their Air Force was shut down quick, right? Their Navy shut down quick. I mean, they didn't have the standing army. It took them time to recover and try to do what they needed to do to stop the Russians, which would be an impossible task without the United States. Once the United States got involved, that's when Ukraine got their stuff together, right? How did that happen? That's generals from the American Pentagon telling Ukrainian generals what they need to do. Hey, I'm not telling you what to do, but y'all might want to look at this. That's what was going on in Ukraine. Ukraine cannot stop Russia. They cannot. Neither can Poland. You know what I mean? Neither can Romania. They can't stop Russia. Not without help. So, and that was the whole point I wanted to make. Like, bro, all these people talk crazy about America, but it's America that keeps the world functioning the way the world functions today. All that will change on Monday if we pull it out everywhere. You know what I mean? Car. Unfun fact. Canada's surnames were Smith and McDonald. Now is Lee and Lee. Hey, man, it's the same thing down here, bro. It is what it is, man. Immigration is real. So down here in America, yeah. Now I've yet to go to Canada, to be honest with you. I've never been to Canada. I don't think I've ever been to Canada. I was in Detroit, and there was some bridge that would like take you to Canada. I forget what part of Canada that was. I didn't even go across the bridge. I was in Michigan, Sault Ste. Marie and all that kind of stuff. But I never I haven't gone to Canada yet. And I see what's going on. I don't know if I'm in a hurry to go visit. I don't know. Emma's Globe Girl, more rowboats. We don't have no rowboats. Quit hating. You're over there hating. Brother JT, the Navy is the true military. The Navy is the true military of maritime. Facts. But Army will still spank that A55. Hey, there it is right there, bro. Y'all know. Yeah, but they beat us I think they beat us in the game this year, Army Navy. I can't believe that. I don't know what's going on with football. The Army needs to do two things. They need to come up with better recruitment commercials and focus on beating Navy. That's what they need to do. Need more paratroopers on that football team. Brother Hayoka, the Russians still need to keep troops on the border with China and had to remove troops from Syria because of Ukraine. Again, you remove the American threat. I think that China and Russia becomes even friendlier. So you don't have to really worry about that border as much. You know what I mean? China's going to be doing their conquest and Russia's going to be doing theirs. I'm telling you, you remove America, the world changes. I think the world changes drastically overnight. I'm saying the Russians aren't facing Europe proper. They still have militaries too, just Ukraine. Right. Now, that's the thing. It would all boil down to France, UK, and Germany. Again, it's kind of like looking at how the World War I got started and even World War II. It boils down to that. Now it's diplomacy. Who has the stomach to fight? Who wants to deal with it? Right? Okay, who's going to come together? How much money they're going to spend? What does that mean for the economy? What does that mean for the population? You know what I mean? Again, America, it's gone. So America's at home, and we ain't having it. So what are they going to do? What's the UK going to do? What did Churchill do when Hitler's armies took all of Europe? He sat there and he begged and he pleaded with America, right? He begged and pleaded with Roosevelt, send us equipment, send us food, you know what I mean? Send us money, bombs and bullets and Band-Aids. That's what we need. And he just waited and waited and waited because America wasn't getting involved until December 7th. Okay. And that changed the whole thing. Churchill was the happiest man on the planet when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. He was like, that's it. That's all we needed. America's in the war. And that changed it. That changed it for the second time. America got involved in the war, Allies win. You know what I mean? Again, back in World War I, America got involved in the war, Allies win. You know, Carl's like, I'm not missing much if I go to Canada. I mean, I still want to go see it, though. The Ambassador Bridge, thanks, Brother JT. See, I knew you would know. You know what I mean? That's your soil over there. Sister Candace, Queen Elizabeth Bridge, Queen somebody bridge to Canada, I believe. There it is, Windsor. Yeah, you're right there. JT's on it. You know what I mean? Confederation Bridge, yeah, all them bridges up there. And Brother Jose is facts. I'm just saying, man, like this is the kind of stuff that I'm looking at. And then people like, well, what about the nuclear threat? You know what I mean? What about the nuclear threat? Okay. Again, America would still have all of its toys. America will still be there. It's just we won't be protecting other people. It's like, well, if there's a threat out there that we think is going to be a problem for us here in North America, we'll go deal with that threat. So again, with that being out there, I think China and Russia will like stay away from North America. Like leave them Americans alone. Y'all know we don't want that smoke, but we're going to take everything else. And Americans sit back like so long as what y'all doing don't affect us, we cool. We want to get our oil shipments on time. We want to get our chips from Ukraine on time so we can make our, our little computer chips or whatever. We want to be able to get whatever it is we think we need, whatever it is we think we want to be able to get it on time for a fair price. And if the rest of the world, y'all act up, we're going to come take it. You know what I mean? So it's not, we still the biggest dudes on the block. It's just we ain't protecting everybody else. We gonna let everybody else fend for themselves. So in that scenario, the rest of the world they'll be hurting. They'll be hurting. Brother Helka, the UK and the US are the same power. The US just being a major partner. Nah, man. Militarily, UK can't stand up to us. Ask them. They'll tell you in a heartbeat. Nah, we don't want that smoke. We can't deal with them. Yeah, you look again, and Ms. Globe Girl, she's gonna love this. The United States military is massive, bro. Massive. Most nations can't. We can send one carrier group to take most nations out on the planet. Just one carrier group. Just one. And that's just the Navy and the Marine Corps. That's not involving the Air Force and the Army. Right? UK, they'll tell you in a heartbeat. They don't want that smoke. So, but let's talk about the nuclear threat. Right? Again, no one definitely wants to mess with America when it comes to the nuclear threats, right? So, and here it is. It's hard for you guys to see it. I'm gonna see if I can make this big. It's just this cookies thing. I don't like it. I don't want it to accept the cookies. So, which countries have nuclear weapons? Right. So you got Russia, United States, China, France, United Kingdom, Pakistan, India, Israel, North Korea. Those are the places that have nukes. And then they're the nations who house or who are hosting U.S. nuclear weapons: Turkey, Italy, Belgium, Germany, and the Netherlands. Right. So, of course, in this scenario, we leave on Sunday night. We take the nukes with us. So the only places that will have nukes on Monday morning would be Russia, the U.S., China, France, the UK, Pakistan, India, Israel, and North Korea. It'll be the only places that will have that. You know what I mean? Sister Candace, nobody's messing with the carrier strike group. No, you're right. No one is messing with the carrier strike group. You were absolutely right about that. Yeah, the world against America. And I don't think the world could beat us. It'll be close. It'll be close. So it's just one of those things, y'all. So as far as nukes goes, it's still the only people I worry about with nuclear weapons would be Israel, because that's the only country I think will use them. America's the only country has ever used nuclear weapons where, hydrogen and atom bomb and hydrogen bomb. We're the only country's ever done it. People know we'll do it again if we had to. But I think on that list, the only country that would actually use a nuke would be Israel. Right? If they felt threatened, if some rogue element got into Pakistan or India and got hold or had the ability to get a hold of some nukes, then Israel would launch. That's the only person on that list that I think would actually launch nukes. Everybody else is like, nah, we'll just have to fight it out, conventional means. But yeah, Russia has more nukes than America, but I'm pretty sure that most of Russia's nukes don't work. Like the ICBMs, I don't think the ICBMs work. And the only reason I say that is because Russia is so corrupt. All the money that they put to their nuclear weapons program, I think that money gets siphoned off and winds up in other people's pockets. I don't think those weapons work. I think their low yield stuff works. I think their tactical stuff works, but I don't think that their ICBMs work. But according to this list, Russia has 6,255 nuclear capable weapons. America has 5,550. So it's close, but it's like Russia has more. But when we're talking about, China with 350, Like the rest of them are like just, 3 digits. China 350, France 290, the UK 225, and so on. Israel 90, that's more than enough. North Korea somewhere between 40 and 50. So it's really, when it comes to nukes, it's Russia and the United States. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if only half of Russia's nuclear weapons work, be honest with you. But 100%, I mean, all of America's nuclear weapons work. All of them. And they work every time. So, I mean, that's just one of those things. But yeah, Europe, it'd be over for Europe. It'd be over. It would be all the way over. And like I said, we haven't even talked about Africa. We haven't talked about the Middle East. We haven't talked about, I mean, look at China and Taiwan. Everybody knows that China is going to, at some point, China's going to make a move on Taiwan. And that's going to be hard for China. It's not going to be an easy thing. They're not just going to walk in there and do them like, Russia could do Ukraine. Nah, the Chinese were ready. But the Chinese, part of their defense plan is America. They know America would commit at least 2 fighter strike task force there. At least 2 carrier groups. At least 2. 2 carrier groups will go to defend Taiwan. And the Taiwanese, they're ready for this. It would be very bloody. And if China were to even get a foothold in Taiwan, it'd be impossible to keep it today. But if America pulled out, yeah, it'll be a nasty fight. But without support from America, I don't think Taiwan could stand against China. They just, where all the bullets and Band-Aids coming from? Where all the bombs, bullets, and Band-Aids coming from? They're coming from the U.S. Right? All of the intel is coming from the U.S. Right? So when, all of the spy works and all that stuff is coming from the U.S. Like, hey, Taiwan, this is what's going on. China don't want that smoke because they don't want to deal with the U.S. But the U.S. pulled out. Taiwan would fall. It would be a very bloody affair. And I think the Taiwanese would fight to the last. I think they would. It would be horrible to see. But I think it would happen. I don't think China would hesitate if America was back in Taiwan. I don't think they would hesitate. They'll do it on Monday. What? America went home. They verify this. By Wednesday, it's verified America ain't messing around. Boom. China would invade Taiwan by Wednesday or Thursday in this scenario. Right? So, right, Ms. Globe Girl, just the visual formation of a carrier strike group coming at you is terrifying. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's amazing to see as an American. It's like, wow. You know what I mean? Those carriers are massive. I got a cousin who's he's an officer. He's a lieutenant commander. I forget which ship he's on, but so proud of him. Brother Jose, U.S. has more updated weapons compared to Russia. Absolutely. All of our stuff works. That's what we're proving in Ukraine. The stuff that we're sending to Ukraine is like old stuff. That's old tech. That's not none of the good stuff. Here, you can have that, Ukraine, and it works every time. It works to devastating effect. Just ask the Russians who are being conscribed and sent to the front with no training. These boys are dealing with their own version of Stalingrad, Leningrad. You know what I mean? This is what they're dealing with. They're being sent to the front, not one step back. These dudes are mad. All because this is what Putin wants to do. And they got to face weapon systems that work. So if America wasn't back in Ukraine, man, that would have been over a long time ago. A long time ago. Brother Carr's car. According to the Centers for Strategic International Studies, China has the most active ballistic missiles development program in the world. Who reigns in super EMP weapons? All right, well, EMP weapons can be deadly, man. That right there, now you're back to fighting with swords and battle axes and maces and stuff like that. You can't use your tech. I didn't know that though, bro. I'm gonna have to look that up. What was that? Was the Center for Strategic International Studies? I'm gonna have to look that up. China is secretive with their stuff, though. They play dirty. Yeah, we play dirty too, but you're right about that. That's from Ms. Globe Girl. China ain't playing around. They know what it is. They know that they know what it is. But if America were to come home, I'm telling you, China. I think China takes Africa. They're already in there doing all the infrastructure. They're slowly taking over Africa as it is. I think they just go in full blown, like just boom, we're taking Africa. Middle East, I don't think China or Russia will want to mess with the Middle East. Right? But you look at Syria, you know, the Middle East is because Israel's there. That's the wild card. So I don't know what will happen in the Middle East when America has pulled out. I don't know. That's the kind of, you know, I don't know what, you know, Iraq, Iran, Syria, you know what I mean? Like Libya, all these places where this power vacuum is. And, you know, you had, you know, like Taliban and all these other kind of these crazy factions going in and taking control in different pockets. I don't know. I don't know what the Sunni and Shia would do. I don't know. I don't know if they would try to come together and come after Israel, which would be a bad mistake, a horrible mistake. But the Middle East would be crazy. I don't know what would happen in the Middle East. That might end the planet, right? Because like I said, of all the nuclear capable countries, Israel's the one country I know for a fact will drop nukes. They will turn the whole Middle East into a big old piece of glass. So before they raise a white flag, before they give up, they'll blow it all up. You know what I mean? You know, so shout out to Israel. I ain't mad at them. So I don't know what will happen in the Middle East. Middle East it's already bad now, but without America, I don't know what will happen in the Middle East. That's enough to give you nightmares. But Africa, I think China takes Africa. I think Russia takes Europe. Right? And I think that Russia and China decide who gets what when it comes to Australia, New Zealand, you know what I mean, Indochina, Indonesia. You know what I mean? Like they'll split all that up. I think China winds up with most of that. I think Russia will be happy with Russia. I would imagine Germany or the UK, you know, Germany, Britain, or France will probably make a deal with Russia and just, man, you can have all those countries. Would the Germans actually step up and fight Russia? I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe it could go either way. It could go, you know, like if they wanted to fight, they could. So long as Britain was on board, so long as France was on board, I think Germany, Britain, and France, Italy, Greece, if they got together, they could fight Russia, and then, you know, let the chips fall where they may, kind of thing. But I ain't gonna lie to you, if America's out of the picture, I think diplomacy takes over and they give Putin whatever he wants. So he ends up with Europe. That's what I think will happen. So I think China and Russia would dominate most of the world. They would stay away from North America. And America's cool so long as y'all, you know, bring us our tribute, bring us what we need. If y'all try to stay, y'all play with us, y'all mess around, we come to see you. That's what I think will happen. And I'm going to wrap this up. This was a fun talk, y'all. I'm glad y'all was rocking with me. This was a fun talk. Present. I'm sitting here trying to figure, what am I doing here? All right, this is what I want to do. All right, so Brother Jose, China builds small islands around the world and are building infrastructure all over, making countries indebted to them. Yes, facts, bro, facts. China's been quietly doing this, just taking over. And America is aware of it and just not doing anything about it. It's not much they can do about it because the Chinese are doing this, you know, like, yeah, all right, you know, Africa, you want us to come in here and build you a dam, build you some sort of, you know, infrastructure for your country. Fine, we'll do it. You know what I mean? But, you know, this is how much it's going to cost. And then, we can't pay that. No problem. We're just going to take all this. This is ours now. So China is doing that. Miss Globe Girl, same thing that happened in Afghanistan will happen to the Middle East eventually. Maybe. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. You know, if you take America out the picture, I don't know. I mean, the Middle East is so unstable because of Bush. I put that on Little Bush, man. Like W did that. He wasn't thinking. He wasn't listening. He did not listen to his advisors, in my opinion. To remove Saddam Hussein was a mistake. Yeah, Saddam Hussein was an evil guy. Yeah. The world is full of evil people. But Saddam Hussein had nothing to do with the attack on 9/11 against America. Nothing. That entire region was involved in some way, shape, or form, except for Saddam Hussein's Iraq. right? Even the Saudis were involved. Our allies, right? They're supposed to be our friends. Come on now. We took out the wrong dude. I'd have left him in power, and I would have went around going after the bad guys, going after the Taliban, going after Al-Qaeda, and I would have been dropping them off in Saddam's lap. Like, listen, give us some good intel or we're going to drop you off at Saddam's house in Iraq, and we're going to let him deal with you. And those boys know what Saddam going to do. He ain't playing. Saddam gassed the Kurds. He didn't hesitate. We messed that all up. So once Saddam was removed, you know what I mean? Once Gaddafi fell, all that changed the Middle East. I have no idea what's going to happen in the Middle East now. I just don't. I just don't. But I do know this. They better leave Israel alone. I know that for a fact. Israel ain't playing. Brother Hayoka, the Chinese can't project Navy power more than 1,000 miles. Africa will be safe from a Chinese incursion. Again, if you remove the American threat, China won't need the Navy, man. They'll just land their soldiers there and just take the ground. This is ours now. They didn't come in there like the mob. And without America backing the opposition, China could do what they want. Russia could do what they want. I think a lot of people fail to realize the amount of protection that the United States military and the United States government gives to the rest of the world. So they can sit back and be prosperous and live their lives and do whatever they want to do. Take America out of the equation. Now, young Britons have to stand up and fight. Young Germans got to stand up and fight. Same with the French. Like, the Foreign Legion is small. You have to get regular Frenchmen to join the army. Right? So, same thing in Spain, same thing in Greece. And these are places that are already collapsing financially. Governments are already collapsing. They're like, they might welcome the war. We haven't even talked about the Turks. I'm telling you, y'all, like, people need to give it thought. What would happen if America went home and took all of his warriors and all his toys? The world would change in a week. That's what I think will happen. Miss Globe Girl, it's a wrap for Africa. Big talk. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no filler, y'all. I mean, I don't even like that continent. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I don't like Africa at all. Brother Dino Dinosaurs in the house. What's good, man? Putin to travel on an armed rail right now. Hasn't been on a plane this year. Fear. Yeah, you don't want to get shot down. Right? You don't want to get shot down. I mean, he knows America knows where he is at any given moment. You know what I mean? Putin's the kind of guy to he'll use anything to get at his opposition. You take America out of the equation, man, Putin can do what he wants. Ms. Glover, Africa's already indebted to China. China has Africa by its neck. Absolutely. And again, if America's not involved, like, the Chinese can do what they want to do. It's always been like, if Russia or China got into a conflict, or if America got into a conflict, the other side would be backed by those governments. So Afghanistan, right? America was backing the ops. Vietnam, China was backing the ops. You know what I mean? So, like, if China goes into Africa for real and has some drama, America will be backing the ops. You know what I mean? Korea, China was backing the ops. So it's always been a thing. You take America out of that equation, Russia and China could do what they want to do. Right, cars. CCP's New World Order. New World, yeah, man, could be. You know what I mean? But again, America hasn't gone away in this scenario. America's just in North America, just sitting back. Sitting back with all of our tech, all of our toys, watching everything that goes on. America's, America will still have that presence. Like, make sure you paid America. You gave them what they wanted, right? They got their stuff, cool. Because if they don't get their stuff, they coming to see us. And if America just sit back, like, all right, like, again, like, North America would be fine. Central and South America probably will be fine. I mean, like, if Russia were to try to go into South America, America would probably, in this scenario, America would step up and say, nah, man, stay out of there. Nah, we ain't having that. Same thing with China. Like, nah, we ain't having that. Same thing, like if Russia was like, we're going to come over to Cuba. Nah, nah, this is ours. Cuba is ours now. I would see that. They were like this great big shield around North America and anything close. Like, nah, that's too close. Step back. That's, that's what I think would happen. And I think China and Russia will be cool with it. Yeah, this is against. I thought Africa was a country, fresh and fit after our joke. Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that. You know what I mean? Putin's plan for Ukraine was 45 in office. Yeah, that's true. And Biden was a spanner in the works. That's true. Trump wouldn't have lifted a finger unless someone would be able to convince Trump it was in his best interest that he can make some money. But I think he wanted. I ain't gonna lie to you. I believe that Putin wanted Trump in office, and Trump would have got the Trump Towers in Ukraine, Trump Towers in St. Petersburg or whatever. They would have backed some stuff. Trump would have got some money. He'd have sat back. And, half of America would have been mad and the other half of America wouldn't have cared. It is what it is. You're right about that. You know what I mean? Brother Jose is laughing at Sister Candace. Yeah, that was a funny one. Cody is Kings in the house. What's good, man? Like America's the world police. If we stop, but if America stopped policing the world, what would happen? You know what I mean? And like with the Africa thing, man, a lot of the stuff, Brother Hayoka, a lot of the stuff with Africa is based on the way the world works now with America being involved in the equation. Remove America from the equation. Like, again, if America just takes all its toys and goes home, that changes the game completely. That's just free reign. That's free reign anywhere that America is okay with. So, and again, in my scenario, North America, Central America and South America will be like no-go zones. Like, nah. But the rest of the world is wide open. And I think that I think these people will come to America crying. Britain will come hat in hand. Germany, you know what I mean? Like Poland. All these former Soviet bloc nations will come like, please help us. And America's like, nah, y'all good. Y'all figure it out. I think that'd be kind of crazy. Yep, Brother Car. Indeed, the U.S. is a stopgap. Yeah, we've always been that way, and it's all because of communism. We're always fighting the communists. Okay, well, let's not fight them anymore. Let's see what happens. This is just a thought experiment, y'all. I'm not calling for us to do this. This is a thought experiment. You know what I mean? So yeah, and Ms. Glowgirl's talking to Brother Hayoka. True, China has already infiltrated Africa, so it'll be a local incursion. And America knows all about that. CIA knows all about that. It's just nothing in Africa that America really wants. And they don't want to get involved in all the tribal nonsense, man. And like all that, it's a mess over there. Brother Mandrill talks about it all the time. He was special forces. He had a couple bad missions in Africa. He hates that continent, bro. The whole continent. He was like, yeah, man, there's a couple bad missions in a couple countries over there. Like all those countries are the same. He was like, them people are out their mind. Boy, if he was here, he'll be up here talking about it right now. Brother Helga, with 1.5 billion people in sub-Saharan Africa, Chinese logistics would be stretched thin. The Indians wouldn't stand for it. You understand the way China moves, man. They got a heavier hand in Africa, and they will absolutely work with the natives. Okay, we're gonna work with y'all. Y'all do what y'all want to do. We'll turn a blind eye to what y'all little tribal fight. But here you go, everything you need to win. And when you win, set it up, and this is what we expect. So you're right, though. It'll be a headache for China, but they could do it if they wanted to. Maybe they leave Africa alone. But I'm pretty sure they'll want the resources. So, you know what I mean? Maybe China will leave the Africans alone. Maybe Russia would get involved. Maybe China and Russia go in together. Who knows? But the fact that America's not involved changes everything drastically, y'all. So this has been fun. I appreciate it. This has been a fun talk, man. I'm just, what happens if America were to take all of its toys and go home? This was a fun talk. Yeah, we've been doing this for about an hour now. Cody is King. Was good, brother Cody. Politics was changed worldwide. No more big daddy protecting these weak countries with no military and poor diplomacy. Absolutely. And that's the point I wanted to get at right there. That's the point I wanted to get at right there. Shout out to brother Cody. That's the point. It would change. The way the world does business would change immediately. Immediately. Yo, brother Hill, like trade, yes, conquest, nope. It would, if America's not involved, this is a brand new world. Miss Globe Girl, it wouldn't be all at once, slow and steady, infiltration across the continent. Talking about China and Africa again. And I agree with her. And there would be nothing in the way. America's not in the way, so they can do what they want to do, how they want to do it. It makes sense to them. Maybe there's certain countries they mess with, certain countries they don't, but they'll be able to do what they wanted to do. Absolutely. Brother Dino, today South Africa, Russia, and China started sea exercises together. Ooh, for real? I didn't know that. I'm going to have to look that up. That's crazy. But this is it right here. Brother Cody is king, man. He summed it all up. Politics will change worldwide. No more Big Daddy protecting these weak countries with no military and poor diplomacy. That's it. We're going to leave on that note. That's it right there. That is it. That's what would happen. If America took all its toys home and like, that's it. That's exactly what happened. They would have to pay for their own defense. They would have to get their own militaries up to speed, and they would have to protect their own borders without America help or interference, as some people like to say. Ain't interference. That's America helping out these weak nations, helping these people save money, because we spend almost $800 billion every year on military stuff, and they barely spend $60 billion. So they would have to get up to speed. That's all that is. You know what I mean? Yo, thanks for rocking out with me, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed that conversation. I know I did. That was fun. That was fun. We'll circle back and do this again. we'll do this again. Brother Carl Scar, thank you, DL Saint. Be safe, be awesome. All yeah, same to you, brother. Be safe, man. Have fun up there in Canada. Take care, take over up there in Canada, man. Take over. Man, get Canada right so I come up there and visit. I'll buy you a cognac. You know what I mean? Enjoy y'all weekend. Be safe. You know what I mean? Tell your family you love them. And don't just say it to be saying it, mean it. Enjoy your family. Enjoy today. Tomorrow is not promised, y'all. And as always, protect yourselves at all times. Shout out to Brother Hink in the basement. He says it all the time, and I've adopted it. Protect yourselves at all times, people. All times. You know what I mean? Yeah, thanks to all my day ones for coming. I know people be watching my show like, man, everybody got a wrench. Like, these are my day ones. You know what I mean? Just wait till we get big. Wait till we grow. You know, because I'm not giving out no more wrenches. These are all my day ones, and then we'll grow. When we get up to like 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 supporters, you know what I mean? Then people won't be talking crazy. And Brother Donald, yeah, enjoy Picard. I will, man. Thanks for the love, y'all. I will, man. I appreciate the support, y'all. I really do. It's time for me to go. I got to go, get my daughter up. You know, teenagers don't like getting out of bed. It's already almost 3 o'clock. Let me get her up, get her dressed. We're going to get something to eat, take her to her mom's. And I'm going to go out dancing tonight. Hey, do something fun for yourselves, man. You know, love yourselves, man. Love your family. Enjoy life. Tomorrow's not promised. I'm DL Saint. This is DL Saint. I Really Want to Know podcast. Man, I'm going to talk to y'all later. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.